Welcome to the Empowered Podcast with Deanna Merlino, an all-encompassing personal development show where I will be sharing with you just how to transform yourself into the best version of you, both inside and out. From wellness, entrepreneurship, spirituality, and manifestation, I'll be showing you exactly how to live your best life. I will be keeping it as real and raw as it gets. So get ready to peel back the layers and really transform yourself under the surface. Because nothing is better than finding your purpose and living this life as your true, authentic self. Okay, empowered listeners, by now you have likely heard me talking about my retreat, and maybe it has gotten your wheels turning that you are interested in joining. If it has, I encourage you to take this time for yourself to dive deeper into your spirituality and to continue the journey of nourishing your soul and getting to know its divine calling. Step into the empowered, expressive human that you are meant to be and release what no longer serves you to call in abundance and step into that new version of yourself that you desire to be. Your transformation will begin through daily movement medicine, followed by healing integration sessions, transformational breathwork, tailored meditations, sound healing, Reiki, and so much more. Experience an intentional private nature getaway and enjoy cozy rustic lodging, deep bonding, nourishing meals, and adventure in the beautiful woodsy hills near Ellicottville, New York. If you have been feeling called to take your healing and spirituality deeper, this retreat is for you. You can find more information by visiting the website in my show notes or feel free to DM me on Instagram. Our next retreat is August 26th to 28th, and we truly hope to see you there. Welcome back, my empowered fam. On the last episode, we talked about my trip to Las Vegas and how amazing it was and some really awesome stuff that I manifested. And there was some more that I wanted to add, because this is pretty big. And this is something that I started talking about when I was talking about the podcast. And I've just been doing some really big reflection and just things have been lining up for me. And I really want to just share this story with you because it was pretty powerful for me. So while I was at that convention, one of the girls that I was with, she's not part of my team. She's what I would call a sideline sister. Her name is Juanita. And she forgot her badge to get in the convention center, and we had been walking. So I was like, I'm not going to leave you. I'll come with you. We'll get you a new badge. So security takes us for her to get a new badge. And of course, the computer's not working. So we're stuck there for a little while. And she's like, hey, Deanna, how's your podcast going? And I was like, great. And she's like, how did you start that? And it's so funny that she asked me this because I don't normally share like this for whatever reason. It's what came out of me. And I'm not sure if I even shared this with you guys. I may have. I've done enough episodes at this point that some stuff blurs now. Sorry. But I explained to her that it was on my list of things that I wanted to do. It was actually for my list for the following year. This was like way premature in what I wanted to do. I was too afraid to do it yet. And it was the night after my dad passed away, or sorry, not after he passed away, it was the night after his funeral. And I woke up at 333, and I'm all about angel numbers. I've talked about them before. It's little synchronicities that your guides are telling you that you are on track. And I take them very seriously. I love when I get the messages. So the next day, I'm looking up what 333 means. And essentially what 333 meant was that it's time to share your voice with the world on a larger platform. Use your gift of your voice to heal the world. And it just clicked. I was like, I need to start my podcast. And I literally reached out to my podcast manager, Chase, that day I reached out to him. I was like, I have an idea for a podcast. Let's talk. And that's how easy it is, guys. All you have to do, take inspired action. That is a perfect example of inspired action. So anyhow, I start the podcast. So I mentioned this to her, and she is definitely not someone who's into, as far as I know, like the spiritual world. So she was pretty much like, wow, that's really awesome. And we moved on. So as we head into the convention center, we get to hear the number one income earner speak, which was incredible. And then we get to hear Ed Milet, who is a world-renowned motivational speaker. And I'll be honest, when he started talking at first, I was like, not sure if he's my kind of guy. He literally was like, I own an island and a private plane. And like, it was just, I don't love cocky people. So that's just kind of how it was coming off. But that is not who he was. And that is not what this speech was. And so he goes into, I just looked up and it was 333 on my recording time when I said that, by the way. So this story is just so aligned. So he's sharing the story. And he said, I've shared this about 4 times now, and it is so painful for me that I don't think that I'm ever going to share it like this again. But I am feeling called that I have to share this with you. And of course, his entire story is based around, well, first of all, he says, I'm going to change your life in an hour. And his whole story is based around his father, who was an alcoholic when he was younger. And there was one part of his story that it just hit me. And he was talking about how he had to learn how to read people by the age of 4. He was able to read people and know how to manipulate the situation to control the scene, essentially. And he said he would have to hear when his dad was coming in the door. He learned by the way the door handle jingled, the way the key was hitting the lock, that he would just know what kind of dad was coming home. And then he would tell his baby sister that she had to go up to her room and go play. And he would tell his mom that, he had to go tell his mom to go take a shower because he was trying to save them from that dad that came home that day. So he's telling us this very deep story. And his dad quit drinking one day and they healed their relationship, and that became his best friend. And it was very similar for me because me and my dad didn't have a great relationship when I was growing up. We just butted heads too much. We were literally the same human. So it took years for us to heal our relationship as well. And then the rest of the story is essentially about his dad dying, and then when his dad passed. And he was so descriptive, like everything was just like a knife in my heart over and over and over again. So here I am in the middle of 20,000 people, like convulsing, crying, like every ounce of my grief poured out of me in that moment. Like I am just shaking. I am not silent. I mean, I should have been embarrassed, but I wasn't. And it was really sweet because this girl in front of me probably heard me just sobbing away and reached for my hand, held my hand, and we connected after. So I now know she's super spiritual, and I now know that she was giving me Reiki energy, life force energy, because I immediately calmed down, immediately was grounded, and we just sat there holding each other's hands as strangers for a very long time. But again, this is my company. These are the type of people that are in my company that you would reach out and help a stranger in a moment of need with no expectation to get anything back out of it. These are the people that we are. These are the people that I get the gift to surround myself with. So I thank her because I immediately calmed down. And at that moment, Ed shifted and started talking about how we need to use our pain as our power. Use the things, the painful things that happen to us in our life to change our life, and then go back and help the people going through the same thing. Use your pain as your power. And that was so powerful for me. And I knew that I needed to use my grief and my story and my gifts and my ability and the ability that I have to share this opportunity, all the things. I have so many ways that I'm able to help others, and it is literally my responsibility, my God-given right and responsibility to share with people and pull them out of the hole that they're in. And in that moment, a shift happened where I was like, okay, Dad, I get it. And I looked down at my phone, and it was 3:33. And I literally burst out laughing. People are still crying. So they were probably like, this girl's lost her mind. She just went from like hysterically crying to laughing. And I tap Juanita on her shoulder and I show her my phone and I said, it's 3:33. And I will never forget the look on her face. She burst out crying. She held me tightly. She couldn't talk. All she said was, you've got to be kidding me. This isn't real. And
she's crying. Now I'm holding her. I'm laughing because I'm like, I'm telling you, you can't make this stuff up. Like, this is why I love this stuff and why I share it, because everything is being orchestrated for us perfectly and divinely behind the scenes. We are not in control. And the moment you understand that, and the moment you stop fighting everything, and the moment you listen to the nudges and your intuition and your guides and all of the signs and the synchronicities and just go with the flow, stop fighting and making things harder than they need to be, things will just line up for you. And it was really amazing also to see that instant believer that I had made out of a friend without trying. I will never try and convince anyone of anything. I'm just sharing my story and my truth. And it was just very beautiful, a very amazing moment. And also that same day, there was a really, really bad storm in Vegas. It was like 60-mile-per-hour winds. It was hailing. It was raining. That never happens there. And I look out the window and there's a double rainbow, and the rainbows have just become a thing with me and my dad. So it was just all around a day of knowing I am being divinely guided, and I am being, just protected, and I will be shown the way. And I just need to trust in God and all of the messages that are coming my way. So that is what I did. So that was a really amazing time. And after that wrapped up, I started to look at, it had to have been not even 2 weeks ago. Not even 2 weeks ago, I wrote it down and I said, I am going to make my podcast my energetic focus, because it is something that means so much to me. And unfortunately, I'm not always able to put as much energy as I would like to in it. And I know better than anyone, where your energy goes, things will grow. And I want my podcast to start hitting more people and sharing this message. It's time. I'm just getting this nudge that it's time. And I look, and the entire time I'm in Vegas, my numbers of listeners are going up. I'm out of nowhere in the last week have had more listeners daily than I was getting weekly. And so and again, that ties into that 333. And I just knew it was time. And so here's the thing, guys. I made a mental commitment and decided and declared less than 2 weeks ago that my podcast was going to grow. And guess what it's doing? It is growing, because I declared it, because I wrote it down and I decided it. I solidified that belief and I let it go. I knew that it was going to happen. It didn't matter how. I haven't done much different. What I did do was I changed my intro, which you guys probably have heard, and I added spirituality and manifestation, which was me stepping into and embodying this version of myself that I am and want to be, and I'm no longer afraid to share with you all. And in doing so, instantly alignments are happening. The right people are finding the right content. My content is finally finding the right listeners. And that is what happens when you make aligned action. And even more so, out of nowhere, in the last couple of days, I have been having some very large accounts reach out to me and say, hey, I really want to be on your podcast. Here's why. I hope you give me the opportunity. People are coming to me to become a part of this network. And it's beautiful, and I am grateful, and I am so excited. I'm so excited because, like I said in the last episode, when you decide, make aligned action, and you truly believe, you manifest the things that you desire. And every single manifestation that I claim and that I want is happening. And this is exciting for me because behind the scenes, I'm working on a lot of different things that I know are going to be very high financial hitters. I know that large sums of money are on their way to me, and I know that it's going to happen. One, because I've always felt it in my bones, but I know because every other manifestation is being checked off my list like a little mark on the box, which means that they're only next. And with more money means I can do more things and help more people. I love sharing my little wins with you guys because as my loyal listeners, you come back looking for that. You come back looking for inspiration for your own lives and motivation to chase your own dreams. And I want you to know that while it is not always easy and the road gets bumpy and things come up, we will always overcome them together. And we will always hit our dreams. And when we hit our own dreams, we will go back and reach back and help the next person who is behind us. And it will be an ever-growing cycle of healing and helping and improving the world, raising that vibration and bringing it back into a better place. The world needs us. The world needs you. I need you and you need me because we all need each other. We are all interconnected. So stop playing it small. Stop having a victim mentality or blaming the world when things aren't going the right or blaming others. Know that you are able to make a change. You are able to make the things how you want them. You are able to hit your goals and your desires and attract the things that you want for yourself. Start claiming it right now. Take some time, sit down. What do you want? What do you desire? What are you claiming? And then what can you do to make it happen? And if you have no outlet, if you feel that you have no outlet, if you feel that you want more and you don't know how to get there, reach out to me because I have an opportunity for you. You can join me in doing all these things. We can do them together. And if you're not interested in that, that is okay too. If you do know that you have an outlet, you have a gift that you're ready to share with the world, let it shine, baby. Let it shine. Now is your time. I want you all to know that now is our time. I love you all. I hope you have the most amazing day, and I will see you next week.
Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to find out more, you can follow me on Instagram at Empowered with Deanna and my personal page, Fit Deanna Lolita. You can also visit me on my website, which is deannamerlinofit.com. Make sure that whatever platform you guys are listening on, please rate and subscribe. And this means so much to me. It's going to help get me out there to help so many other people. I'm so grateful that you're here with me on this journey of wellness and self-empowerment. I cannot promise that it will always be easy, but I do know that it will always be worth it. Stick with me, and together, let's start living as the version of us that we were meant to be. Because the world is waiting for your gifts, and you deserve to live the life of your wildest dreams and beyond. So friends, let's get empowered.